These scares are starting to get stale. Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome to WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 horror movie trailer cliches.
What are we gonna do? We don't have a car. The phones are dead and they're still here.
Which means we gotta be ready to do anything.
That means we're looking at the most overused tropes and scenes in horror movie previews. And because we will be discussing some plot details, a spooky spoiler alert is now in effect. Alright, let's get to the list. Number 10, pretending to be a different genre. Horror movie trailers love to lure us in with a false sense of security.
You won't believe my parents' cabin.
These previews often initially present their movies as rom-coms, coming-of-age tales, or family-friendly pictures before introducing a sinister twist. But for audiences, this once compelling gimmick has grown stale.
You want cereal? What's a tiger? Please get a room.
Most of the time, the title gives it away. When we click a trailer called Friday the 13th or Resident Evil, we know they're horror flicks. And even when trailers for Red Eye almost convince us the movie's a rom-com, we're more likely to feel frustrated than charmed when they do reveal the actual nature of the film.
Hi, is this taken?
No, it's all yours. So are you heading home?
Yeah.
Just be honest with us and we'll buy a ticket.
You tell the flight attendant and your dad dies.
What can I do for you?
She's just had a really rough day.
Number 9, invisible forces dragging victims. If dragging people were an Olympic sport, supernatural beings would take the gold every year. Whenever horror films want to tell audiences that ghosts or demons are tormenting people, a character is pulled away by an invisible force. Victims are usually dragged in a straight line while conveniently looking at the camera. While the innocents always try to grab onto something, they rarely succeed in doing anything but scratching the floor. The Paranormal Activity franchise loves this trope so much it's become something of a trailer staple. But seeing people getting dragged away isn't as scary as it once was. These overdone scenes just prove that the studio had enough money to put actors on wires. Number 8, including a shower and/or bathtub scene. Psycho's shower sequence is one of the most iconic horror scenes of all time. So it makes sense that other films would want an unsettling bathroom scene in their trailers. But instead of trying to innovate, many horror movies just plunk a female character in the shower or bathtub and call it a day. While we're sure these scenes are critical to the plot, their lack of originality makes them feel like excuses to get actors to strip down. Films like A Nightmare on Elm Street and The Grudge provide memorable and creative examples on how to utilize the vulnerability of the bathroom setting, but they're the exceptions. If you're gonna make your character strip down, at least try to break new ground. Number 7, drenching the trailer in darkness. Darkness is an essential element of most horror trailers.
Hello?
Shouldn't be in here.
But it should still be used in moderation. When a scene is too dark, it just becomes hard to see the scares. Found footage films are often the worst offenders of this cliche. Between the low lighting, shaky cam, and green tint, it can become nearly impossible for us to see anything. If horror directors are worried that making their scenes brighter will ruin the film, they should look at the Midsommar trailer.
We only do this every 90 years.
Although most of the scenes take place in the sun, the preview is still terrifying. While we don't need every horror trailer to step fully into the light, we'd appreciate it if they didn't rely entirely on darkness either. Number 6, overusing a sound effect for suspense. It feels like every second horror trailer has a creepy narrator.
People who need help with matters that can't be explained, come to me. These hauntings can be terrifying things.
Although listening to those voiceovers is getting old, it's not the worst thing we're hearing. In order to build suspense, studios will repeat the same sound effect over and over again.
Buddy can connect to and control all of your camera.
Chucky is a toy.
We'll be subjected to anything from loud horns blaring to drums being banged repeatedly during the course of a 2-minute trailer. While the sound effect may be jarring when it's first introduced, it loses its effect the more times we hear it.
Something is happening that we can't understand.
I'm concerned about your girl.
If you have a really creepy sound, use it sparingly. The less is more approach will actually do a better job of building the tension for your movie. Plus, our ears will thank you.
How long have you two been together?
Just over 3.5 years.
4 years.
Really?
Number 5, making a creepy version of a popular song. There are plenty of dark and macabre songs out there.
He's gonna find us.
But instead of relying on tracks that are already dark, movie studios love finding popular songs, slowing them down, and putting them into trailers. Although a lighter or poppy song becoming grim is supposed to be creepy, it often sounds ridiculous. Over the years, slower versions of Smells Like Teen Spirit and Every Breath You Take have both failed to put fear into our hearts. But the use of Ariana Grande's 7 Rings for the already ridiculous Fantasy Island reboot has pushed this trend a step too far.
I want it, I got it. I want it.
We were brought here to be a part of something else.
I got it.
If we can hear a song at a club, it probably shouldn't be in our horror trailer. Number 4, showing us the final girl. In horror films, the final girl is the female protagonist that survives to fight the killer one-on-one during the film's climax.
Do we want to go down?
Part of the excitement and tension of watching a scary movie comes from seeing which of the cast members will live to fill this role. Unfortunately, trailers often spoil the surprise.
Police are always on track when they watch prom night at same time.
He just kills by them. Don't answer the phone.
If one woman keeps appearing solo throughout the trailer, it's a big hint that she's the final girl. Especially true if she's played by a more recognizable actress.
They know where we are. We need to move and keep moving.
And if that same woman is seen covered in blood while holding a weapon, she's definitely the final girl. While revealing the final girl isn't a death sentence, showing us the survivor does diminish the tension of the film's bloody conclusion. Number 3, fast and flashy smash cuts. A smash cut is an editing technique that can catch our eye with its speed and flashy nature. Unfortunately, horror movie trailers tend to overuse this technique. Instead of cutting to a few select moments, there will be more than a dozen second-long smash cuts in a row. We'd complain about seeing too much of the movie if the images weren't flashing by at the speed of light. The scenes are thrown at us so fast that we can't tell what's happening to who at any given moment. Horror studios need to remember that less is more. While adding a few smash cuts is fun, using too many will leave us confused and a bit nauseous.
Dangerous. You're a dangerous girl.
Number 2, spoiling the entire plot. No one likes spoilers, so why do we get so many in horror trailers?
You sure you in there?
Police, open up!
It's bad enough that studios often spoil which characters bite the dust, but many horror trailers have gone further and revealed major story beats and plot twists. This trend has gotten so bad that a few movies have literally given away their endings during their previews. Quarantine, Paranormal Activity, and the original Carrie are just a few movies that completely spoiled their plots in the trailers.
Carrie.
We understand that it's tempting to use the biggest scares to sell audiences on the movie, but they're usually tied to major story reveals. We'd much prefer an atmospheric trailer that's light on big scares rather than be disappointed in theaters.
It's not a ghost. What is it?
This list is reminding me of so many horror trailers it hurts. And our number 1 is the most obvious. Please stop doing it, movie studios, unless you come up with some new, unique way to do it. Anyway, what am I talking about? Let's get through some dishonorable mentions, and then we'll see our number 1 most overused horror movie trailer cliche.
Yo, are you calling my name?
Hi, Randy. There's an abandoned temple. It is said that the door of the temple is the key to the world of the dead. You will be able to speak to your son, but no matter what you do, you must not open the door.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Oh look, a jump scare. Can you remember a time when every horror movie trailer didn't have at least one cheap jump scare? Us either.
Hello?
And as a result, this scary trope has become extremely predictable. Anytime we see a character look under the bed, look into a mirror, or step into a dark room, we're just counting down the seconds until something pops out to scare us. Sure, it's the quickest way to get a viewer's heart racing, but the effect is short-lived. If we're really unlucky, we'll get multiple jump scares in the same trailer. There are better ways to frighten audiences. We wish horror studios would stop relying on this heart attack-inducing technique and give us well-thought-out and unique scares instead. I just wanted to reiterate that these are trailer tropes, so we're not necessarily calling out the use of jump scares, for example, in the movie in general. So, are you tired of seeing jump scares in horror movie trailers? If not, what are you tired of seeing? Come tell me in the comments, or talk to me on my YouTube channel, or on Twitter or Instagram at Rebecca Brayton. Also, please watch this other video.